you're still watching the beam. We have earlier introduced Mr. Hamzat Lawal, who joins us via Zoom. And we're carefully looking at the emerging trends from the Edo State election. Mr. Lawal, let's get straight into it. Many things have been said about this election, and we don't want to go to the normal rhetorics and the things that we've seen all around. Let's begin first by asking, what are these emerging trends which you have observed because you were on ground? So what are the trends, the emerging trends you observed while there? Please unmute yourself and we can hear you, so just unmute.
I'm really sorry. Yes. So first, it shows that our democracy is still fragile, it's still emerging, and there's a lot of opportunities here. Opportunities in the sense that the young people must take leadership and take ownership and first engage in the political process. You see, a lot of times we forget that before the election process, there's first a political process where it's being manned by the political party. And for me, when you observe ward meetings, you observe local government meetings in the political structure, you hardly find young people. Because you see, when you look at the outcome of this election, over just 30% of the total numbers of people that have their permanent voters card decided who became the governor of the state. And this is worrisome. This is a worrisome trend. Why would you have over 2 million people have a PVC and you just have less than 30% or about 30% voter turnout? So it means that just a fraction of the population would decide the future of the people of Edo State. And this is also a worrisome trend, even when you look at the turnout of the 2023 general election. So for me, I say there's an opportunity here because as much as we're still sensitizing people and building awareness, but there's little awareness around the political dealings or the political system itself. And I think as young people, we cannot say after elections you agree, you want to fold your hands or you want to wash your hands out of this whole process. No. And the easiest target is always INEC. Everybody wants to blame INEC, but you forget that in this electoral process, security is a major factor. Working with National Union of Road Transport Workers in terms of logistics is a major factor. So it's not as if INEC has total control. Even if they are the independent electoral umpire, there are so many factors that would play. But most importantly, it is the electorate themselves. That is the biggest factor. And if they don't see this as an opportunity to define what becomes the political history, the dividends of democracy everybody is yearning for, if they don't see it as they playing a role and taking ownership, then we'll continue to see this trend re-emerge even as we go into 2027 general election. Because a lot of politicians are already looking at the future. But as young people, we're so distracted with things that really don't matter. Just imagine if half of the population of young people, so today we say we're over 60% of over 220 million. Imagine if 50% of that 60% enter a political party. That political party would not only become, in short, you can't call that political party a third force. You will call the political party a force to reckon with. Because those people would decide and determine who becomes the flag bearer of the party. So whoever becomes candidate must align their values, their message and aspiration to the yearnings of those young people. So for me, what I'm seeing on the trends that's ongoing is a lot of young people are very distracted.
It's good that you've brought it to the young people because, like we said, there are so many other programs that cater to the older folks, right? But how much did we see the media, play out that role when it comes to the blend between the media and the youth and politics? How much did we see that dynamics play out in Edo State?
I think even, I'll take us memory lane. I think the media has made their mark from the Dot Too Young to Run campaign. And the media continue to see themselves as the platform that provides an opportunity, an equal playing ground, but more opportunity for young people. Because one, technology is playing a role here as our elections emerge and even in the lead up to the Edo election. Because if you follow the polity on the digital space and then you go on the ground, there is a big disconnect. Yes, we know technology is playing a role. Young people are leading in shaping narrative, in informing narrative, and also promoting their candidate. But there's also the negative part, which is misinformation, disinformation, and fake news. And it's still young people that are pushing it, hampering on propaganda. And I think we need to nip it by the bud. But most importantly, I think the media have made their mark, and the media is creating that atmosphere and that platform to showcase that young people have a say, but most importantly, leveraging on that platform to reach out to mass number of people. And you see, even as we talk on channels, you're streaming on YouTube, on Twitter. Who are the people on those platforms? They're young people. So you see again, you're not just doing analogs or you're not doing mainstream, you're also inculcating digital media.
Yeah, it's beautiful you've said that. Now the question would be, how do we get them to go away from the digital space to come to be soldiers on foot? By soldiers, I'm not meaning pander to any party or stuff. I mean, come out to make their voices heard, come out to be people who they must be reckoned with, right? How do we get the youths to go away from spaces from X and all that on the D-Day, gets down there and get the votes done? How do we do that? How do we make this a reality in this nation? Because we saw some of it play out in the last election, I mean, the presidential election, but somehow there's a little disconnect, or somehow there's a little lag when it comes to the Edo election, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you are correct. I think first, we need to take a pin, and this is my own analogy. Take a pin and bust their bubbles, because they, as young people, they're still living in a bubble. The youth and the Gen Z, they're living in a bubble, a world of their own, and they think everything is about mobile phone and digital technology. Now, politics is the heart of the grassroots. And yes, all of us can be in Abuja or sit in Port Harcourt, Lagos, or Ibadan, but we're from a community that is grassroots. Mostly, maybe there's no good access route, no clean water, no electricity. It's how do we connect to what is happening on the ground? And all of us belongs to an age grade or a club in our various community. Yes, we all can't go back to our village and attend all of these village meetings. But how can we leverage on the fact that we're exposed, we are educated, we're knowledgeable, but we also have a job in the city center, but also take some of our resources and contribute to that political process. Now, you cannot eat your cake and have it, and you cannot say, oh, you're interested in this and you're not putting your money to it. Mm-hmm. But then most importantly, how many young people are card-carrying members of political party? Any of the political party, be it the leading, the major opposition, or the third force, so-called. How many young people are card-carrying members? Now, if you're card-carrying members, how many times do you attend these meetings? You go for ward meetings, you go for Congress, you go for local government meetings, you go for state meetings, you come for national convention. Because if you don't do all these things, because these are the political process and structures that decide and determine who becomes the face of your party. Now, technology can help, yes, to amplify, but you need to do the groundwork. You need to do the offline work. And when you do that, you see, a lot of time when we sensitize citizens, we forget about getting the votes out, like you said. How can we also ensure that people come out on election day? Because you see, in the eyes of the ballot, because every other thing, we would say we're marginalized, but the ballot does not marginalize anybody. The president today only has one vote. My brother, you only have one vote. Mm-hmm. I only have one vote. Person with disability has one vote. A woman has one vote. So that means there is inclusion, no marginalization. So, but people must understand the power of that one vote. One vote can change the course and dynamic of the great country. But we must educate, we must inform, and we must ensure that we get mass number of people to come out. Imagine if we had over 80% turnout. Probably the results would be different. We only had about 30% turnout. And that's why you see the margin you're seeing from Edo. And now we're almost going to Ondo. And then before we go to 2027 general election. So again, it means that we need to go back to the drawing board. There's so much to be done. But most importantly, young people need to leave their bubbles and inform the political structures and political process. Right. Before the candidates emerge.
All right. So let's still stay close to the technology aspect of this election, which is very key. Beavers, the IREV, and things like that. In looking at the technology that was used to execute this election, Are we going to say that it elevated the way in which our electoral process goes? Or are we going to say it's still in the doldrums of darkness, it's still the same way in which it was before now?
No, it's not in darkness. There's already light. And some now there's already light. In 1999, I'm a student of political science, but I had keen interest in history. In 1999, in 2003, 2007, 2011, we see where elections will be ongoing because I've been a party agent in my former life. And results will be announced in Radio Nigeria News at 4 when people are still on the queue or when results have been tallied. Today, with the introduction of beavers, mind you, there was card reader in 20.
Oh,
I'm back. I'm
okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Go ahead.
Yes, President Muhammadu Buhari, mind you, mentioned that time that if not for card readers, he wouldn't have won that election. But today we have beavers, and we must commend INEC because today's INEC is not the INEC of 1999. We've made progress, but we need to make much more progress. So, what is also the integrity of our register? Have we ensured that it can survive a forensic audit? If not for beavers, because today you can't just go and cast a vote. The beavers machine would give you data of the numbers of people accredited and numbers of votes cast. So that is why you see now politicians are so desperate, and now they're using our votes as commodity to trade. That's why you have vote buying and vote selling. If not for beavers, some people will just say, they'll fold their hands and say, it's just a walk in the past. But technology, we must also holistically embrace technology.
All right.
I've observed the election in Kenya, I've observed the election in the United States, and Connected Development got accreditation to observe the US presidential election in November. In the US, because of they've integrated technology holistically, you would see results in real time. Why is it that our IRA is not also tallying results?